And we are back for the final hour. And we were just about to have Tally explain to this debonair gentleman from the Indian subcontinent what the problematic situation in Dublin is like.
Kitty, down from the table. Go, cat.
Very apropos.
Yeah, but Tula keeps doing it. She also started yowling in the middle of it. I thought you heard her.
No,
No?
actually, not at all.
But
But
that would be a nice background music to where we are.
I suppose it would. That said, do we have a Tally here?
We do. We have a Callie who's having an overload of cuteness from his new dog, who he loves dearly.
No.
He's so lovely. We have to get yeah.
I saw the photos. He is adorable.
Yes, we have to. His funny thing is, we got here. He's bonded so completely to Mum that basically she went out of the front door to the skip to get rid of some stuff, and the instant she was out, he darted to the door and started scratching it like a mad thing.
Aww, Mummy went out.
Yes, Alpha went out. We need to get him used to the idea that Alpha will sometimes go away for extended periods.
Yes. All right. Well, we have we are waiting for you to explain the situation.
How do you? Oh yes, of course. So, are we recording?
Yeah, we are.
Oh God. Sorry, I thought I.
No. I asked, and people just sounded like they were ready, so I went back and.
Well, I guess Chris wasn't ready.
I guess not.
What? No, my apologies, fellow players. My apologies to the audience.
It happens.
Yes. Okay, so, yes. He Taliesin looks at Ish and just says, "Okay, whether or not the barrier is down or not, it was still surrounding Tara. They were dying out there piecemeal, but there were so few out there that it would have been disastrous. We found what we thought was a loop. We found a loophole to the situation, but not a very good one. The basic point of it is that most of our sept, except for us, is currently travelling through one of the deepest and most dangerous levels of the Umbra to try and reach Tara to reinforce their position. Hopefully they might be able to save the sept out there, but it's going to cost a few of them their lives as well, in all likelihood. So at the moment we are, to use a business term, quite desperately understaffed."
It does sound like it. I'm surprised at the. I'm tempted to say I'm surprised at the ease and willingness with which you accept such losses. I wasn't under the impression that the Guru were numerous enough to simply shrug off the loss of one or two of your own, as you put it.
It was either one or two of our own or an entire cairn. We can't take that risk.
No, you can't, obviously. And much as I would love to be the one who comes sweeping in, saving the day, because quite frankly I can't think of anything more grotesquely amusing, if you'll pardon the dark humor for a moment, than the idea of the Bastet popping in and saving the day for the Guru in one of their holiest sites. I'm sure the universe somewhere is writhing in laughter at the image, but he says, and pours himself a cup of tea. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we would be seen as allies if we were to arrive in such a way. The bad blood, as I mentioned before, is very old, very deep, and, well, we might be ankle deep in it with you. You're young, as you said yourself, but if I were to go to Tara, I'm certain I would be in over my nostrils.
Well, we've already taken our steps to try and protect Tara, so...
So I'm assuming that my view on this, for what it is worth, is that we should focus on saving Dublin.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh, I can't tell you, he says, how nice it is to have a rational conversation with no less than 4 Guru. I can't remember that ever happening to me before.
We should take a picture. We can make history.
Yes, we should take a picture and all smile and do thumbs up signs and post it on Facebook.
God, yeah, that for several reasons. Well, aside from the obvious reasons, that would probably be a bad idea. But
And right at that time,
is when
she comes. The woman Jata comes back in. She is. She looks slightly flushed. No, not even winded. Just flushed. She says, "It certainly looks messy. I didn't go too close. I don't think they would have liked that. But it looks like it's a real mess out there. Should I go back and try to help them anyway?" And Isha taps his chin with one finger and says, "No. I have just been informed while you were gone that there are reinforcements on their way to Tara already. You will be needed here." And she nods and says, "Oh, by the way, I bumped into Joseph downstairs. He's prowling up here, I think is the word."
And Taryn, in her own mind, just can't see Joseph prowl because whenever someone says Joseph, what she thinks of is a bone gnawer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the...
Well, what you see is, because she is still standing in the door, so you can see behind her, you see this peek out from behind one of the screens.
See what?
a link in the description, in the chat. Sorry.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, it's adorable.
It's so adorable!
I think our players and characters are just going to get overloaded with squee at this point.
Just... He's looking up from one of the screens.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Taryn can't hold back a "aww."
As a reference to an old campaign we did, now all we need is for like a Lynx or a Caracal to turn up in the door when we've completed the set.
Yes.
And then all we'll hear is "meow."
Wow.
Actually, I was halfway expecting it to be a caracal.
Mm.
Yeah, a little.
You have disappointed us, storyteller.
Yes,
No.
I'm sure I have.
No, it's a lovely cat. So
That is still.
Yeah.
It just looks like, are you gonna hurt me?
I love that the description for the image can't make up its mind whether it says puma, cougar, puma.
Yes.
Like it can't make its mind
Can't
up.
make its
I
mind
think
up.
they have a tendency to call pumas
It's a
cougars.
puka.
It's a puka.
No.
Oh,
That's horrible.
Oh.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
I
he
think
changes
cougar
into
covers
a
both
human
mountain
form,
lion
and
and
this is what
puma.
This is what you see.
That is okay. That's yeah. Why does my scalp feel itchy?
I don't know.
Keep your scalp.
Is what I say. Yes, I feel like he's about to tear it off. That's probably a very bad stereotype
That's a
to be
slightly
proliferating.
stereotypical, well, very stereotypical thing to say, but okay.
It is. I do
Didn't they get
apologize.
that from the French or something?
Probably. You know what? I'm just going to shut up and
No problem.
apologize and be ashamed of myself.
He shrugs his denim jacket into place and walks into the room, nodding tersely to everyone, but at least he acknowledges your presence.
Taryn just offers him a smile.
I have a question that I should have asked a while ago.
How bad is Venice need to actually get close to people?
Oh, you can. Their scents are powerful enough that you can, with your sense of smell, you can smell them from where you're sitting. They are. Also because these are smells that are so new to you because supernatural. You don't actually have to get up in their face and sniff them.
Okay.
If
Because Venice is definitely paying attention to the smells.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they can't smell us. It must be hell for them.
Anyway, Isha looks at this newcomer and says, Joe, please meet our new friends, I would like to say.
There's still a silicone chip in Taryn's head that goes off because Joseph and Joe... Wrong kind.
Wrong kind, yeah. And she's, or he says, and what about Shen? Joe shrugs. She might trust issues. And he looks at the four of you and says, I can't say I blame her. But if you say that they're okay, Isha, then I'll believe you.
Finn elbows Connell in the side. Look innocent!
Connell smiles through gritted teeth.
I was about to say, does Connell even understand the word innocent?
No.
Exactly.
That's why he smiles through gritted teeth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
He looks constipated.
Fantastic mental image.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Constipated.
I think yeah.
Yes.
Taliesin then has a brainwave. Oh, speaking of trust, we haven't even shared our names with you, have we?
Oh, I imagined you'd get to it eventually.
No. Apologies for not doing it sooner. My name is Taliesin.
Taliesin. Oh, very well. That is an unusual name.
It's from an ancient Welsh epic poet. Has some ties to Arthurian mythology.
I see. Well, pleased to meet you. And he looks to everyone else to see if...
Taryn.
Taryn?
Connell.
Fenna and Connell. All right. I am very pleased that you, as I said, that you chose to come here and sit down and have a talk, because now that Joseph is here, he is bringing to the table a point which, well, needs to be made, that not everyone is going to find this kind of cooperation palatable, but I don't personally see it as something bad. It's not as if I'm trying to take over all of Dublin. Just a very small corner of it, and at least I'm asking nicely. And I'm offering something in return.
Yes. We all have plans for what we do. I shan't be so rude as to inquire what you would do with your land. I will simply say that, yes, as we all agree, we've already said we all agree that what you've proposed is absolutely fine. We'll need to do our part to convince our peers of the same.
Of course.
Yes. While we are the only 4 Guru in all of Dublin,
5.
we agree. 5, yeah. Damn it, of course. There's one more back at HQ, if you will. But while we're here, we agree with it, and we will do what we can to uphold our end of the agreement.
Good. I think that's all anyone can really ask for. Now that all has been taken care of, maybe it would be a good idea to hear some of... Well, you've explained the situation in the city, you've explained the situation in Tara, and now my question obviously would be, is there anything in particular you would want help with? As a show of good faith, if nothing else.
That depends entirely upon what you would have of us.
I'm not sure I follow. I'm basically asking what you need help with in this city. You've told me that you've told me that that the situation is quite desperate. So.
Oh, my apologies. I misheard you.
Oh, no problem.
We have struck a blow against the vampires. That's the situation, of course. We are the Cold War, the subtle war between vampires and werewolves became somewhat less subtle a few days ago. One of ours was killed one of theirs was killed, so one of ours was killed in revenge, and it just sparked everything off.
Isn't that how it always goes, though?
The vampires have played smart. They've been trying to strike a few blows against our tenuous allies around Dublin. So far they've failed, but they will continue to try, I'm sure, and eventually they may succeed. And we, in turn, have quite severely handicapped them by taking out a large slew of them over in... out of character. Where was it we had the fight? It was in...
Oh, it was some graveyard.
Bully's Acre.
Bully's Acre. Yes. So... vampires have numbers have been depleted, but, well, vampires can repopulate fairly quickly if not handled. Problem is, vampires are smart and they expect us as werewolves to play it dumb. They expect us to just charge straight in and capitalize on our success in the stupidest way possible and just continue to attack. If we do that, they'll be expecting us. They'll find some way to hem us in or get us where they need us, and then they'll massacre us.
Yes.
So
Bonus information. We have reason to suspect that they are working with black spiral lenses.
that is true.
And whoever they could get their hands on.
But yes, so our enemy that all of those larger enemies may have created a united front. If they have, that's bad in and of itself, but we'll do what we can. Yes, so we need to be able to continue to hold them off and take the fight to them in ways that don't involve all of us just charging in, bellowing, and getting ourselves killed for no good reason.
Well, we're pretty good at that.
That is true.
I am
So-
obviously perfectly willing to lend our, shall we say, claws in this. If for no other reason, then nobody seems to expect us being here.
There are two names that might be of interest in this regard. Reinhard and Victoria, both vampires.
Very well.
The vampires, of course, have their factions. The names that Connell has mentioned belonged to the more... what's the most diplomatic term? Insane.
Douchebaggy.
Yes, of the two.
All right.
But
Very well.
yes. Either of them could be contenders for the leaders in that group. So,
He smiles and looks at the young Native American gentleman in the room and says, "Well, I'm not expecting you to kill either of them and all by yourself, but perhaps you could go and get us some information. And please do wipe your claws clean before you come back. It's messy on the carpet otherwise, Joseph." He just This otherwise rather sinister-looking young man just lights up in a big smile and nods, looks to the rest of you and says, "That will be my pleasure."
Does he then?
He turns around to leave.
In Taryn's mind, she just thought, "Oh, Connell will like him."
I was about to say, as soon as he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
Taliesin says out loud, "You know, if it weren't for the whole werewolf and werecat thing, him and Connell would get along like a house on fire."
Oh,
Who says we mightn't still?
Yeah, that's true.
well, I take it that means that he says and looks towards Connell. That must make you the warrior of the group.
Connor looks constipated again.
Yes. I was about to say, Taliesin says he finds diplomacy
Difficult?
uncomfortable.
Boring.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I can sympathize, he says.
No,
But yes.
cat, go away, cat. Cat, go away.
Speaking
Go.
of which, yes.
Go.
I'm,
Tulip,
I
get
can,
lost.
I can sympathize, he says. I myself come from a very long line of warriors. But, even so, occasionally, talking leads to positive outcomes like this. You mentioned two names before. These are ones we need to be particularly careful around, or we need to kill more than any of the others, or...
They are persons of interest.
Very well.
Also,
They are
And-
particularly infuriating leeches.
Whatever you do, do not kill Victoria. She's mine.
No, she's mine, you fuck.
No, she's mine, you bitch.
I'm
Hey!
sure we can find a way for you both to have part in that kill.
I was about to say, yes, anything we can do to help fight smart that gets these two out where they can kill things will be appreciated.
Oh, that should be doable. He says and sniffs the air. No, it would appear that our final member, at least so far, has arrived. How
It
very
is
nice of you to join us, Shen. And behind you, out in the or by the door, what's it called? To the office area. Another. Why is this thing teasing? It should not be teasing. There we go. A woman appears, walking with long, purposeful strides towards everyone else, with a look of barely contained fury on her face.
Shenandoah Brown.
Another Native American.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What are all these Native Americans doing in Dublin?
Are you asking?
Sure.
Isha raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, I would imagine about the same thing as the Indian at the end of the table, or the two Danes sitting in front of me, or the Welshman."
You know too much. How do you know we're Danes?
Well, Jata has been listening to quite a lot of what you guys have been saying for the last few days.
Oh, she's been following us longer than that. So that's. I'm not even surprised or particularly perturbed by that.
It is very difficult to see something that runs as fast as she does. Don't worry, she hasn't been in your cairn.
It's very kind of you to let us know that. Thank you.
We should probably warn you, though. There's two new leeches in town. They are rocking the cradle, as they say themselves. but they're very powerful.
And very powerful. Okay, very interesting. Well,
CharismaToAC and Eloise Dopaville.
there is that is interesting, simply because Dublin is known to have had a population of powerful vampires throughout the years.
Mm.
So, but is that in any way related to this whole mess that's currently going on, this war?
They
Seems
started
unrelated to me.
amongst themselves, and they were the ones who handed over the leech they lost, and then gave us the blame for, and then murdered one of ours.
I see. And
Apparently, the leech in question they gave us was a peace offering.
oh, I suppose that's one way of putting it.
It didn't work the way they intended, I'm sure.
No, that sounds. So basically, they are handing over their own.
I don't think they considered it one of their own.
Oh, the ways of vampires are strange indeed.
It's
Yes.
like it's just the third party that came in and thought, well, now we're gonna wreck Hill.
Yes, there are some vampires who are firmly against us for sensible reasons, some who are against us purely because they enjoy fighting, some who couldn't care less either way, some who enjoy fighting. Of course, there are plenty of us in the Sept, there are plenty of Guru in the Sept who don't make any distinctions. Leeches are leeches, but then
Yes.
sometimes it pays to pay attention to the differences.
Well, as you said yourself, they are what they are.
Mm. I'm trying to think, what else can we ask about? What else has happened?
Good question.
Because the one thing I do want to ask about, but is the one thing I'm not going to ask about, because I know that at least half the group to 3/5 of it are going to disagree with wanting to do it, and it's not going to make me look very good if I do. So I'm not going to talk about it yet. But Taliesin is pining to ask something, which he's doing his best to hide.
The woman who entered Shenandoah looks at you for a long moment. She narrows her eyes. As, I think that one has something he wants to say.
Taliesin closes his eyes in a kind of kind of way, and then nods. Oh, good! Just in time, Heine.
Oh, fuck.
In time for what?
Yeah, you'll find out.
Okay,
Taliesin's
cool.
struggling with something, but I'm going to regret this.
Have courage! Teacher called you out, you better say it, otherwise she's gonna read the note out loud.
Yes, of course. The names we mentioned, the man, Reinhard,
Mm-hmm.
is responsible for having held hostage a couple of vampires who were less than hostile towards us, in particular, to put it mildly. As much as I understand that there will be casualties in war, and as much as I don't want to be seen or known to want to help those who stand amongst our enemies in wartime, I cannot in good conscience hold it in me to ask if maybe you could see if you could find them as well. At least find out if they're alive or dead. As in dead. Not,
Like he's actually rolling now.
The woman looks at Tally aghast. So you are basically sitting there saying that we should somehow aid you in keeping an agent of the worm alive?
I didn't say that, no.
And
I
that is why Taryn didn't ask.
But
I
then what
asked-
are you asking? So that we should find them so that you can kill these 2, 3, however many it is? Pet vampires of yours? Isha, you cannot be serious that we're going to be... And then he just rises up to his full height, and he continues to rise
Oh god.
all the way up into Krenos, which is fucking monstrous, to put it mildly. The Khan in Krenos are nothing if not majesty embodied. And he slams both hands into the table in front of him so hard that his claws literally get stuck in the surface.
Italiasin actually flinches and closes his eyes shut, thinking, I'm going to die now. I've said something.
She reacts by changing as well, and the sight you get is this.
He's a big kitty cat.
Oh, she's gone.
No, it's a tiny one.
She's gone bobcat.
Yes. And it has she pretty much gives off that that whole
It's a
she's like,
bobcat.
oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
It's like that.
She's scared.
That video of the cat that recoils and then stands on its back legs and starts kind of moonwalking.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much.
dear.
If there's cucumber behind her right now, she's gonna freak.
Yep, definitely gonna flip out. Because quite frankly, that she is the size of a lynx, and he is a Krenos Khan. They are, the size difference is enormous.
He could pick her up and use her as a chew toy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Taliesin's still thinking that it's his fault for saying it, and that he's going to be killed somehow.
It is his fault.
Connell, shut up! Don't break the fourth wall. Fuck off back to your own world.
I'm actually succeeded that one. Otherwise, Taryn would have been under the table in lupus. Like, I'm gone.
He leans forward. His claws are still stuck in the desk, and he leans forward towards her and says, "I have called Tagerm. There will be no violence here, or I would be kicking your ass. You are here in Dublin because I asked you to, and you came, knowing full well what that meant."
I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to drop a bilingual joke here. Stop button. Illugismalia.
Ha! Yeah, alright. Stop the violence or we'll beat you up.
And when you can't fight in here, this is the war room. I'm sorry, carry on.
Taryn slowly pats Tally like, hey, you're not dead yet. Come on, open your eyes.
He does.
And, Shen at this point has basically... She's backed herself into a corner and all her hackles are standing up. And there's a staring contest going on here. I think the word contest is probably wildly incorrect, though.
A staring massacre.
Yes, that's more like it.
She's keeping her eyes on him to make sure he doesn't kill her.
Yes, and that's
And he's
about
staring
it.
at her, making sure that she understands.
Yes, there is no question who the boss is in this room, and it's not her. And he gets up and
Yep.
So yeah, he gets up and pulls his claws out of the table,
Mhm.
and
Taryn looks at the table. It had nothing to do with it. Poor thing.
Oh, I do
Casualty.
apologize, he says. Tempers and so on. I'm sure you know how that feels.
No clue.
Taliesin does his best to straighten his back and then says, "Nevertheless, I feel I must apologize for having raised a topic to the core as such."
Don't
It is quiet.
apologize. It needed to be done. It's better that it got raised now, he says, and changes back into Ahmed. It's better that it got raised now than in a week or a month. Be upfront about things. It usually helps. Honesty and all that. That said, he says, I believe we have an accord, or at least the beginning of one. You will bring my suggestion to your superiors, and until I hear back from you, I will let my people hunt. They don't expect us, they expect you.
You have our thanks. I personally would offer you a debt of gratitude.
I would be careful offering such things to one such as me, young man. I appreciate it, absolutely. But do not indebt yourself to a Khan unless you absolutely have to.
Mm.
We do collect on our debts.
Well, that is the difference between you and me. That's something I'm going to have to reconcile myself. You've learnt how necessary it truly is to think with your head, whereas I still struggle to lead with my heart.
Well, there are times when your method works.
Sometimes.
Anyway, he says, I shall detain you no further. I do wish you the very best of luck over the following nights. And when and if you should feel a need to let me know about this, whether this has been accepted or not by your superiors, now you have the address. All I ask is that you make sure it's one of you who arrive and let me know.
Do we even have a clue when we can get in contact with Kat?
None at all.
We have to do what we can here in Dublin and wait for their return. We can't contact them where they are. It's just too much chaos.
When and if this is finalized, there is an issue I would not mind your help with. I'm not going to demand it. This is not a quid pro quo. But you have been in this city longer than me, and I am looking for someone. So when you feel, when and if you feel like offering some assistance the other way around, you know where I am.
Okay. It will be considered most assuredly. And
That's all I
again,
ask.
it will probably be to yours now advantage if it's our group that interacts with you in this regard.
Probably so, yes.
All right then.
Well,
We'll do our part.
he gets up again, adjusts his jacket, and offers, Talia has been doing the majority of the talking, so he offers Talia a hand.
Yes, and Taliesin actually stands up and does shake his hand.
You are a man of honor. That is a good thing.
Yes, thank you. And you yourself have a credit to your species, sir.
Thank you very much. Likewise, I should think.
Oh, I'm a credit to my tribe. I think there are several of my species who'd rather tear my throat out for all this.
Then let's endeavor to prove them wrong.
Indeed. In that case, I think perhaps we should take our leave.
Perhaps.
It has been... forgive me the cliché. It has been a pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Oh, that is... Well, as you said, it's a cliché, but it's a fitting one. And likewise. Will you be needing Jazza to show you the way out, or I don't think it's too difficult to find your way to the front door in this building.
I think yes, I think it would be in our best. I think we can manage getting to the front door. I'd rather avoid a diplomatic incident before we've even had the alliance finalized.
If all else fails, I can always follow the sentry. Oh wait, no.
In that case, I think Taliesin looks to the others and indicates towards the door.
Yes.
Leave! Yes, I just imagine Connell throwing himself out of the door, so happy to be away.
Yep.
So people leave.
Well, he did get one pretty impressive display of strength.
Yep.
Taryn stops in the door, briefly turns around, bowing to them with a thanks, and then leaves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I found the perfect gift for Connell's for Connell's reaction to finally being able to get out of there.
Yeah. I just want to point out here.
Don't follow the link, Joan. By the way.
No. I just want to point out here that the Swara have access. Those are Jazza's tribe. Have access to a couple of gifts. That, well, for one thing, of course, she can go into cheetah form and already be insanely fast because she will run as quickly as any cheetah would. She can then use a gift called Impala's Flight, which allows them to double their running speed. And then when she gets to be tough enough and strong enough and far enough along, she can also get a gift called Speed Beyond Thought.
Oh, dear God.
Which, incidentally, is also available to Guru at higher ranks, which allows them to run at 10 times their normal land speed.
Wow.
You put that exactly. You put that thing on a cheetah, and it's like.
Yep.
Exactly. Beep, beep, vroom, and we are Coyote Ugly.
I could just see that event horizon being crossed and a whole new realm of existence being discovered.
Yep. So, she could conceivably break the sound barrier.
Yes. But no, still didn't hear a sonic boom because in the middle of Dublin that would probably cause a few windows to shatter.
Exactly.
But it would still be very impressive.
Boom.
Yes.
She runs through the city, there's no glass left standing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it bad that every time I hear the word Sonic Boom I think of that awful latest Sonic game that probably isn't the latest one anymore?
Yes.
Thinking of the show we shall not mention.
Does the show we shall not mention have anything to do with Sonic Booms?
Yeah.
Of a kind, but we shan't discuss it now because...
But we shall not discuss it now.
No. Anyway, Alright, guys. You are back outside.
Yosh.
What do?
Does something ambush us?
No.
The second they're outside and the door is closed, Karen throws her hands in the air. I was born the wrong breed!
Mean species.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Fenna.
Yeah, at that point, even Taliesin, who's had a bit
What?
of a...
Wolves don't even have breeds. Come on.
Yeah, just as soon as Taran says that, even Taliesin, having had quite an interesting experience of that, just does a snort of laughter and can't help himself.
I mean, seriously, I know it's wrong to say, but he was beautiful on that table.
We
Would do. I mean,
reconvene back at the cairn, and then when the day hits, we go out into the city and see if we can't find something to kill.
That said, I think most of you at this point as well are probably completely knackered and probably need some sleep.
Yes, but at the cairn at the very least.
Yes.
well, Fenna slept before nighttime came. While the
also
others were taking church and stuff.
Yeah, but you've also been in a you've also been in a pretty hefty fight in the meantime. So I think most of you could probably do with some sleep in character, obviously. But you guys are heading back to where? Did you say go back to the cairn?
The cairn?
Yep.
That's
Alright.
the safest place, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
While they're driving,
Yeah.
Taryn writes Fina, should we get a cat?
Not unless you want Connell or Eric or any of the other warrior getter Fenris
She's
to
not
eat
saying
it.
it, she's writing it in an SMS.
Oh right, who to?
To
Fina.
Fina.
Oh right.
Her girlfriend.
Yes.
Get a
But
cat.
no, out of character, I would say that not unless you want someone in the set to eat it.
Nom nom.
Exactly.
Yes. Hey, did you just turn into Elf?
Oh god, no.
Somebody mentioned a cat. He goes nom nom. That makes me think Elf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about to say. Yeah.
Anywho, you as you drive back towards Dublin, the sun begins to rise, which obviously means that the green will be opened. So
That's good. I mean, we should still have someone that'll look after it, but as long as we check on it.
that's the thing. And during daytime hours, it's as I think it's said in the fluff you got originally, it's the best protected area in Dublin. Because quite frankly, anybody does anything bad to the green, and they're gonna have to deal with
I just had this
about
image.
1 million very angry Irishmen.
I just imagine there's the mental image. Picture it, guys. In the middle of the day, in Stephen's Green, some twirly mustache, top hat wearing guy in a lab coat with Pentex emblazoned on it is looking around shift while pouring nuclear waste into the fountains there. And then from over yonder hill come a mob of Guinness wielding Irishmen shouting at the top of their lungs, and then this Dick Dastardly of Pentex just gets the most appalling look, and then scarpers with comedy sound effects spilling nuclear waste all down the road as these Irishmen chase after him. Obscenities flying.
I'm sorry, but that is actually funny.
Mhm.
They're basically he's being chased under that age-old Irish war cry of "Feck him!"
Yep. Okay.
We go back to
Yes,
the
we go
cairn
back to the
and we
cairn.
sleeps.
Yes, well, again, probably not sleeping in a public park during daytime hours. Somebody's
Oh,
gonna-
right.
I think
Park in the daytime hours.
what I think we would do is we would at least go and check it's all right.
Yeah,
Collect Shiva,
yeah.
and then go to one of our safe houses and
get
sleep
some
there.
rest. Yes. And you know what, guys? It's now 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Which means that's a really good place to stop.
No,
is.
we still have 3 minutes.
No, but
Nope.
then no. Seriously,
No.
seriously, Aya, we're ending on a high note. We're ending on a good session where no bad shit happens to us. Please
Yes.
don't. Please let us end
I
it
can
here.
have
before-
something bad happen to you at the end if you want.
No, no, no!
Maybe that's what threw me off. Nothing
Oh.
bad. happened at the end.
Don't jinx it, please, dear God. It just means that next time. It just means next time, storyteller will have to be extra evil to compensate.
Well, you guys.
You said that, not me. I don't want any blame for that one.
3 XP.
Hey.
And
Squeak.
and then we shall.
So that's 61?
And remember, we play next week, but not the week after that.
Okay.
Aren't we up to 58 and all?
No, that's my total from last time.
Yep. So it's now going to be 61 is the current total.
But weren't I there last time?
Maybe you forgot to write it down.
Yeah, you might have. I think it's. I think it's from 61.
I do confirm that. Oh, it's 61 on my end.
Yep. Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording, guys. And for everyone out there who's listening, however many or however few, we never know. Please do join us again next week for the next session of A Song of Tara. And on that note, see ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.